So yeah, tell us about the Financial Fellowship. Let's jump right in.
Go ahead.
I'll start. The Financial Fellowship, it was really built with the idea in mind to create a community of like-minded hustlers. They're all aligned with the same common good of creating wealth through alternative measures, right? Through finding different ways, maybe that's not so taught of in the classroom, to create wealth both for ourselves and for our families and generations to come. When Jake and I first came together, it was a really heavy real estate play, and over really the years at this point, it's evolved to just doing whatever we think makes the most common sense at any given time. So once upon a time, we were all in on real estate. Now it's evolved to buying businesses.
Yeah. I think the buying businesses it's like we were talking off camera and off mic about how pumped we were about cash flow and real estate back when we read Rich Dad Poor Dad and we started listening to Bigger Pockets podcast. And don't get me wrong, still love real estate, still buy it, but buying businesses is so much funner, so much more rewarding, and I see this being the path forward for the next decade, 2 decades. So the Financial Fellowship will have a core about acquiring assets that pay us every month, regardless if it's businesses. There will be some real estate stuff thrown in there as well. But yeah, we're pumped, and we just want to help as many people in the process because there's a lot of anxiety about buying things, about buying businesses, about buying real estate, whatever it is. So we're pumped.
Well, I think one of the cool things is that it's like you were saying, Kyle. It's kind of the path less taken. Most people who have that anxiety and are worried about the future are heavily vested in real estate, or we're flipping, or we're doing other paths that were encompassed primarily in real estate. So maybe you can talk a little bit about why you think purchasing businesses moving forward is going to be the path that you want to go down, and kind of why you decided to make that switch.
Yeah, so I think we're entering into a time that I'm sure most people have heard of. There's a lot of boomers retiring, and there's a lot of businesses becoming available that haven't been available in the past. So the opportunity is there. The supply is there. So shifting into buying businesses over the last couple of years is offering us an alternative way to build cash flow. And because of the structure of buying businesses, there's a lot of very attractive acquisition strategies you can take about financing, right? Most people that buy real estate is 20% down for an investment property. You're coming out hundreds of thousands of dollars that you cash flow, maybe, I don't know, $500,000. And maybe coming out $100,000 is exaggeration, but you come out $50,000 for an investment property and you're going to cash flow like $400. Like that, it makes me want to throw up. Where you could use that same $50,000 or even less or a bit more and cash flow $5,000 to $10,000 a month with little operational, especially if you partner with the right person.
So if someone is looking for an opportunity in real estate, and then hears you say you could be cash flowing $5,000 to $10,000 a month, I mean, that obviously perks their ears up quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Do you think that as far as real estate investors go, that it is a good idea to start looking at these types of businesses moving forward?
I do, certainly. I think a lot of the skills of investing in real estate is very transferable to this.
Sure.
That the big hurdle to take action in the first place is most people are afraid to even invest in real estate. Most people, when they hear that people are buying multiple different properties, they get nervous and they're worried about the risk of taking that action. To buy a business is a whole nother level of depth and perceived complexities to it. But at the end of the day, if you can underwrite real estate deals, you're 50% on your way to be able to underwrite business deals. In general, most people aren't going to see a 100x return on any sort of real estate they ever buy. Businesses the average person could succeed at.
Well, and I mean, the best real estate investors are the ones who look at real estate investing like they're buying a business, right? If you're analyzing it as if it's a business and not just, haphazardly being like, well, this is what Robert Kiyosaki says, so I'm going to do it, then you're probably going to be a lot more successful. So if you have developed those skills and you already analyze real estate, your acquisitions in real estate, the same. It's really the same thing. You're looking at it from a cash flow, cap rate, cash on cash return basis, and making decisions based off of that. So, like you said, the metrics really translate.
Yeah, 100%. We're looking at it through the same lens, right? When I'm looking at it is what's best case scenario, what's worst case scenario, what does my exit strategy look like, what do 3 exit strategies look like?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And you have so many more exit strategies in a business. So many more. And you can grow it, you can sell it, you can maintain it. Like you don't it's the thing I like about this business and small business acquisition is if you look at like real estate by cap rates, everybody knows Seattle has a really low cap rate because everybody wants to be here. I don't know why. But you look at businesses like people buy off of multiples, right? So if a revenue is doing something or the profit's doing a certain amount, you're probably looking at a certain multiple. More different industries get different multiples. So say you're in an HVAC industry, you're probably going to get a higher multiple than if you're in other type of service-based industry. So I look at the multiples kind of like the cap rates. So just to kind of speak the same language as real estate investors.
Can you briefly elaborate on what a multiple is?
Yeah, so the company will sell for a multiple of essentially the profit of whatever the business is doing, the seller discretionary earnings or EBITDA, depending on what type of amount of profit we're talking about. But so say you're doing $1 million in revenue and your 30% margins, your seller discretionary is around $300,000. That business should sell for in between a 2 and 3 multiple, so $600,000 to $900,000.
Got it. So let's go back in time. Talk to us about how you guys met and formed this partnership.
Well, that's
It's a ways back in time.
I was looking for some outside money for some mobile home parks, and I met with Kyle and his business partner for dinner. Steve was more interested,
Yeah.
for sure. And Kyle
was not impressed.
I was waiting for the right time to partner with Jake.
So the dinner, I mean, it went good, great guys. And then we just kind of went our separate ways for a year and a half, and then we got linked. How did we get linked back up?
You posted something you purchased on Facebook, I think, and I made a comment on it, and then you said, "Hey, let's catch up." And and we had another meal and kind of left under the agreement we're gonna do something together. And naturally, let's look at real estate. And when we had looked at a number of deals, they weren't penciling quite like we wanted, and then it just evolved over time. We had a real estate deal we actually really liked, and it was finally penciling out to be a good deal given the conditions. In general, we don't like to buy good deals. We want to buy great deals, right?
Sure.
We're only going to buy so many deals. Doesn't matter if it's real estate or business. We're only buying so many deals in our life. We don't need good deals. We want absolutely awesome deals. This one was a good deal. And my wife had actually been laid off of her job at a tech company. And so it's like, hey, Jake, I might need to step on the brakes a little bit. My life conditions have changed a little bit. And he said, maybe instead of stepping on the brakes, you actually just need to step on the gas. And I'm going to remember that forever. And he had like 4 of these little one-line zingers over the next 2 days. And I was like, I'm just going all in on Jake and with Jake. Like, I feel like this is a safe place to be.
And you guys weren't even that close, so him calling you out like that was...
Oh, it was real. It was real. I felt like a prophet was speaking to me. Like it was just time to go.
Do you remember what you said to him when he said that?
I think it was a little bit of the tail between the legs. Of like,
Yeah, what do
I
you
think
say? You're like,
yeah, not much. Like, he got me. He's right. And then I went home and I internalized it and I thought about it and I talked to my wife and I was like, he is right. And then I was flirting with leaving a job I didn't really have much passion for. It was
But making a crap ton of money.
It was a bit of the golden handcuffs, right? I was making enough money. I couldn't really complain to any of my friends because when I told them my situation, they're like, "Oh, it sucks to be you." Like, pity on you. Like no one wanted to hear it.
That's
so
funny.
like, I needed a bigger mission, and partnering with Jake was definitely a no-brainer. And then once we started learning about businesses, and really we should get in some point in the difference of starting a business versus buying a business. So I think there's a distinct line in the sand there.
And make sure you're talking in the mic just so that people can hear you.
So, do you guys think you were attracted to each other as partners.
Ooh.
Dude, yeah, I know. I said
Yeah, it wasn't a physical attraction.
I mean, no,
Was it the beard or?
He's tall.
It's Kyle's soccer body.
Do you think it was more so your commonalities, or did you guys immediately see that you had different strengths and weaknesses that could complement each other?
I think the biggest problem was we're two of the same people. Our strengths
Interesting.
overlap each other, and so we weren't really the 1 + 1 = 3 that people are usually looking for in business partners.
Right.
We're very similarly wired.
I like that.
But
I haven't heard that before.
I bought into him as a human being and as a business partner.
And that was more important.
Honestly, at that point, it was, and
Yeah.
it still is.
And I would say the same. Like Kyle, if I ever have to question that, is he gonna do the right thing or the wrong thing? It's always the right thing by, is it the right thing to do? Just value and moral based. So that makes me feel super comfortable with anything that we do. And have you read Rocket Fuel?
No, I haven't.
No.
It's a great book. Essentially, visionaries and integrators, right? Visionaries are the big picture, big plan, but it's not the person that moves the ball down the field every single day, right?
Yeah.
We're both visionaries, and we have to really recruit those integrator cells to move the ball down the field, and it's hard and it's action. And so we just know that about each other. So when we do look for operators, we look for more integrators, people that are going to, very process oriented, very just detail oriented. So it's funny that, and the reason why I was laughing is because we were literally talking about that on the way here. Like, dude, we have the same mindset about so many things. So we started, bought a business, and then just things continued after that, and we're here now.
Well, sometimes you think of the successful sports teams and they're well rounded, but sometimes there's a team that just has an amazing offense and their defense sucks, and it's like we are just going to overpower them. And not that we're overpowering anybody or you guys are overpowering, but the analogy is, sometimes if you see that your two strengths can become a superpower, you can figure out getting the ball. You can figure out the defense later. Like we have Tyreek Hill and Tua. Like we're good. We're gonna get the ball. We're gonna outscore them. I don't care how many points our defense gives up.
Yeah. Talk like Kansas City Chiefs, man. They're gonna.
That's probably a better example.
And that is it. Like we look at top line. We look at just sales and marketing in general and hiring, and everything else is like, oh, we'll figure it out later. We'll figure out when it breaks, etc.